this video, I'm going to, for the very first time, use a tool that I purchased from Uncle Larry, and it's used for knocking out the balance staff for pocket watches. So I have two of these. I have this one here, which is for pocket watches, and this little bit turns here. And I know I saw Bun Special do this and probably makes much better videos than me, but since I'm probably more of an amateur, I just want to go through the struggles of using the tool as I use it. So here it is here. This thing rotates here. And then there's another piece to this. And this is the punch for knocking out the staff. So I'm going to get in a little closer here so I can look at this. So it's a bigger one. So I'm assuming that the punch will be this one here. So the idea here is that when you knock off the staff, knock the staff out, that you're not damaging the actual balance itself, because the arms on the balance can get distorted. It's pretty common to distort these, and then you have to true it again. So I did this once before. I kind of ruined the balance, and then I actually trued it, and I got truing calipers and a truing tool, and it looked like a set of handcuffs. And I trued the balance. It was not flat anymore, and I had to flatten the balance, and it was kind of round, so there wasn't a big issue there. So that was the challenge there. So I guess the first step to do here, I read some books on this too before I start, and first thing to do is to pick a hole that this thing needs to go into. I'm going to actually give a closer look here. Again, if you see if I have long fingernails, it's because I play guitar. So I'm a rocker from way back. So rockers have long fingernails. So what you first want to do is find a hole that accommodates the actual balance staff here, so it's the right size, and you lay the balance staff down so that the arms here are flat against what you're going to be punching against. So, and you pick the hole that fits right through the end of it. So it's got to have very little shake, side shake back and forth. That's not right. That one's close. It's like Goldilocks and the Three Bears, and this one is perfect. So I'll zoom in a little bit here and see if I can get a closer look at this is what I'm trying to do here. There we go. That's a bit better. So yeah, so what I did was I just checked these three holes here. And this one here, it was good, but it wasn't flat. As you can see, there's a bit of a rock here in the balance. You don't want that, because the worst thing is to actually bend these arms. If you bend these arms, then the balance staff goes off true. So you want to put it in there, and that is absolutely flat with not a lot of end shake on it. So once you've done that, and you figure out which one it is, I always look down the hole in the staking set, so I get a general alignment, so I don't accidentally pick the wrong hole. So I just look down the top of the staking set here, so the top hole. So that fits perfectly right there. So then you take the balance out and just put it down for now. You don't have to worry about damaging the balance at all, because it's already damaged. And then you want to center the hole. So you put your centering stake in. There it is there. And then you push it down like that, center the hole, and then tighten the gizmo, the jobby do holly jicky do jobby. I think in French, I'm a Canadian, so in French they call everything a patente. It's like a thingamajig, so you don't know exactly what it is, so it's a patente. So anyway, you tighten that up nicely. Then you need to make sure that the pivot here fits into the end of this, so make sure I've got the right one. So I'll be knocking it out from this side here. So then I have to fit this into the end here to make sure it fits nicely, like that. And there we go. And that's a pretty good fit. Now I might check my other one here, because if the fit is a bit better, right, because the staff's pretty small, because it's a 12S, maybe I'll use the other one, because the tighter it goes into the center of the shoulders of this arm, then the more snug it is, and probably the least amount of pressure there is exerted on the arms themselves. So it's all physics with a P. So let me have a look at the end of these two things. Actually, they pretty much look like the same size exactly. One's just bigger than the other. So I'll pick the one that's, I think, bigger because it's for, I believe, for pocket watches. So I will pick this one here. So now once I've got this in, what I do is place this back in. Got a lot of fingers. So I make sure that's, once again, when I put it into the hole here, I do have to make sure it's the right one again. If you put it in and you realize you've got the wrong one, I think that's the right one there. And then just to be 100% sure, I'm going to throw my alignment tool down, and if that is exactly in the center, then that's the right one, and it is. So I almost went one over, which is because it's kind of a obtuse angle, so you're not quite sure. So then you fit this over the top like so, like that. It's a little bit loose, and then you have to screw this up so that it goes over the hole like that of this staking set, right? So you do that, and then there's the punches. So I actually should have checked the two punch sizes to make sure I got the right punch size before I did this, but assuming that one of them is for pocket watches. Actually, I'm going to do that before I start, so I'll just loosen that again, right? And I'll check the punch size to make sure I got the right punch. So this is a smaller one that punches out, and you go down like that and make sure that you got the right punch size. I got to go to my super duper made in China lens here to make sure I got the right one. There we go. That's not bad there. That fits actually nicely into that. Fits very nicely over the top of that. So let me check the other punch and make sure it just doesn't do the exact same thing, and it's better for it. This fits too, so I'm not sure. This also fits really well. I think the hole on this one is better, so I may use this one. We're just trying to knock it out, and it just takes the rivet out, so because these are riveted in. So I will use this one here, and then now that I've got this pretty much centered here, that's flat, it's all good. Make sure I got a lot of, it's got to be flat. It's not flat, you can get in big trouble. So once again, I'm going to put this in place. It's not flat right now. It is now. So then I just roll that over to this side here, because I think you're supposed to turn this arm to tighten it after. So let's roll that over and then squeeze that in place. Now, when I put this through, I put this through, it should align everything up. So I'm going to just zoom out just a bit here, so you can see what's going on. There. So you see my face in this video, then I'm innocent. And this will tap, and you see it's stuck a little bit, so all you do is just unscrew it a bit, and hopefully it doesn't fall all the way through. Yeah, there we go. Unscrew it a bit, and then push it all the way to the bottom. Now, the trick is you got to look through the little window here. There's a window. You can see it on this side, right? Use my tweezers maybe. The window's right here, right there, and you look through that window to make sure that the balance is in place. So this is going to be a little bit tricky because I'm going to have to gaze in there, and hopefully the phone doesn't ring. I think I'm going to tip this sideways to have a look. And you look through there and then tighten it down after. So I think that's all in place, like that. So I just blocked the camera, but I'm looking through the window there. So let me just zoom in on this and see if you can see this. There's a little window right here, right there, and you can see it going out of the way and then coming down again. So you look through that window. If I zoom really close, like this, and put my hand down a bit, there, you can see that going in down through the center. And that's what you want to do. Make sure it's making contact with the balance staff. I'll zoom out a bit again. And then once that's making contact with the balance staff, you've got pretty much everything aligned. And I think you can, it's not super tight yet, right? So I think you gotta just, just move the whole darn thing and like so, and then tighten it up. There. So now that's tight. So what that's doing is ensuring that the two arms are perfectly flat in the right position. Now what would be really funny is if I did this and it didn't friggin' work. But everything looks like it's lined up perfectly. I've got the balance in there. It's funny, the arms are just bent a little bit with the pressure from this device. I'm just trying to see if there's any gaps in that arm, in the hole here that it's in, right? I don't want to pound down on this thing if there's any gaps. I think it's okay. I think it is okay. There we go. There, down like that. And then I'll zoom out again, and I just tap it a bit with my trusty hammer. And hopefully the whole thing drops through. Oh, there we go. Something happened. So let me just take this apart here. And with any luck, which way do I turn this? I don't want to, there we go. And there we go. And I believe I did the job. You see if the balance straightened out a bit. And it still looks a little bit bent. I may have to true that a bit because it seemed to bend the balance just a tad. So the balance arm. But there's the balance staff there. And I think the balance arm is just a slight bit bent, which I might be able to... Oh, it's actually not bent. It was tucked in. Kind of tucked in for some reason. Maybe it was me that did it. I'm going to zoom in now. So that's basically... There's the balance, and it's actually looks flat and probably is true still. And there's the old riveted in balance staff. So this tool, handy dandy balance staff remover with the staking set, works, and the punch works very well. So I just figured I'd put this video on for anybody who's going to use this for the first time, because it's the first time I've used it, and it works.